Welcome to this all levels chair yoga class. While there are many benefits to the yoga practice in general, a few of the things we're going to touch on in this particular practice is relieving tension in the neck, shoulders, hips, and low back. We're going to help create mobility, flexibility, and health through the spine, through the organs. We're going to practice balance to help build strength in the body and in the mind. This practice will also help to release stress. And with consistent practice, help to undo the damaging effects of chronic stress on the body. While this practice would be beneficial to anyone, it might especially be helpful to anyone with limited mobility, where a traditional yoga class may not feel very accessible. And also for anyone who sits a lot, whether it's for work or for play. We all know sitting for long periods of time really does a number on our health. So sprinkling these in to the time where you're seated can really help to create more health in your body. So I hope you enjoy this practice. As with any physical activity, if anything doesn't feel right, please feel free to modify or to stop it completely. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can leave them in the comments section below. And I hope you enjoy. Namaste. So to begin, get comfortable in your chair. You can sit back if your chair has a back, but let the chest be lifted. Try not to slouch. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears and melt them down the back. You can allow the eyes to close. Bring your attention to your breath. Place to the side any to-do lists, any agendas. Let yourself be present in your practice. You can pick any of that stuff up when we're done. But for now, let yourself be here. To help with that, let your attention anchor to your breath. Notice the inhale and the exhale. See how the breath feels in your body. Let go of any judgments that might pop up around it, and just notice how the breath feels. Notice how the body feels. Is there anything that feels tight or open? Are there any spots that are asking for a little extra attention or to be stepped back from? And again, notice all of this without judgment. And then bring your attention back to your breath. Invite the breath to smooth, even out. If it's comfortable, let the breath deepen. No need to push or force. But as you inhale, bring that breath down towards your belly. Let the breath fill up towards the chest. And as you exhale, let all of that breath out. If you are familiar with Dirga or three-part breath, with the Ujjayi or ocean-sounding breath, you can practice those here and throughout the practice. I will have those breath breakdowns linked below if you wish to learn them. But in any case, take another few moments here just to settle into your breath, to find a comfortable rhythm that you can sustain through the practice. The breath is such a great tool to keep our minds focused because we're always breathing. It's always there for us to anchor into. So at any point throughout the practice, when you notice your mind wanders, it will, that's what it does. It's okay. You can just bring your attention back to your breath, back to your experience. I invite you to think of this practice as a great big science experiment. and to notice the changes, the shifts, the adjustments, how your body reacts in this practice if you do this again. Just continue to be aware without judgment. And from that place of non-judgmental curiosity, we'll begin our practice. So we'll begin with a release for the neck. And for this section, move nice and slow. The slower and smoother you move, the more the muscles will not only be able to initially relax, but they'll stay relaxed. So take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let the chin drop towards the chest. Feel free to make some funny faces, release the jaw, maybe inhale through the nose, let it out through the mouth, or take a horse breath. And then inhale, let the head roll over to the right side. Relax the jaw still. Soften the shoulder away from the ear if you notice it hikes up to meet it. Just notice what you feel. You can play with very slow, subtle yes or no motions. And then take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow the chin to roll back down towards the chest. Again, nice and smooth. Inhale the head over to the left side, ear towards the shoulder, and same thing. You can play with those little micro movements, nodding yes and no. Make sure the jaw is relaxed, the shoulders are soft, and notice what you feel. Stay with that initial rhythm you created for the breath. And now we'll connect this movement to the breath. So inhale. As you exhale, again, you can let the chin drop down towards the chest. Inhale, let the head roll right over to the right side, ear towards shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, over to the other side. And continue following your breath for the next few rounds. Now, if there's a spot that feels like it needs some particular attention, feel free to pause there. Otherwise, you can continue to flow side to side. Alternatively, you can turn this into a head roll, a circle all the way around. Allowing the head to roll back and stretching the front of the throat is a great thing to do, especially if you are a tech person, you're on the phone a lot or on the computer. If you are playing with those circles, let the circles change direction. Now the next time the chin drops towards the chest, pause there. Inhale the head up to center, and then start to play with rolling the shoulders back to front, forward to back. You can alternate and do whatever feels good, starting to warm into the shoulders. Nice. Now on your next inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Bring the palms together and exhale, hands towards the heart, coming into sun breaths. Do 2 more in that direction. Use the whole length of the inhale to bring the arms up and the whole length of the exhale to bring the hands down. Very nice. Now we'll reverse the movement. So inhale, shoot the fingertips up. Exhale, bring the hands around and back down towards the heart. Inhale up and exhale around. Last one, inhale up and exhale, release. You can pause here with the palms together in front of the heart, or you can let the hands rest on the lap and just notice how you feel, the effect of that release for the neck and the shoulders. This next segment is the 6 movements of the spine. This is a daily practice for me. It really helps to keep the spine and organs healthy. So you want to give yourself some room, so scoot to the front end of your chair. On your next inhale, lift the chest forward, hug the shoulder blades back, and you can gaze up, stretching the throat if it's comfortable. And then as you exhale, reverse the movement, round, drop the chin, draw the shoulders forward. Inhale, send the chest forward, stretch the front of the body. Exhale, round, stretch the back. So this is seated cat-cow breath. Inhale, come forward, arching the back. Exhale, round, drop the chin. If you'd like, bring the hands to the hips. And let the elbows get involved here a little bit. So as you round forward, draw the elbows forward. And as you inhale, let the chest come forward, bring the elbows back. With the hands on the hips and the elbows kind of helping out, you get an extra little stretch through the chest and through the upper back. This movement, of course, helps to stretch the muscles along the front and back of the torso. Really great for the chest and shoulders, so if you're in front of a computer all day, this is a nice movement to do. Alternatively, you can get the arms involved. Inhale, bring the arms back. Exhale, give yourself a big hug. And just adding the arms in will help to increase the stretch, especially in the upper chest and the shoulders. Nice. Let's take one more breath here. Very nice. So after your next exhale, release the hands in the lap and just pause for a moment. Notice how you feel. And then bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, sweep the right arm up overhead, and as you exhale, take a little side stretch over to the left. Don't worry so much about getting over. Focus more on lengthening through the right side of the body. If it's uncomfortable to keep the arm lifted, you can bend the elbow and bring the hand to the shoulder, or you can bring the hand to the hip. Whatever feels more comfortable, take a couple breaths there. You can circle that arm if you like. You can play with little micro movements through the shoulders, through the ribs. Just continue to focus on the breath, stretching through the side of the body, stretching those intercostal muscles, the muscles around the rib cage. Use your next inhale to come back up to center. Reach the left arm up, and then a little side stretch over to the right. So same variations apply. You can keep the arm lifted. You can bend the elbow. You can circle the arm. Notice if this side needs something different than that first one. Without any judgment, no shoulds, no supposed tos, just notice what you feel. And keep the breath steady. Notice if the jaw has habitually clenched and let it release. And then inhale, sweep yourself back up to center. Now for our final two movements, inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, twist gently to the right. Let the arms rest wherever they feel comfortable. That back hand can rest on the hip, on the low back, or on the chair itself. The front hand can rest on the thigh. As you twist to the right, press the right hip forward so the low back stays out of the equation, and you twist from the center of the body through the spine. Use your inhale to sit tall and create space, and use the exhale just to notice if you have a little more room to twist. But there's no need to push or force. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, and exhale, twist to the left. Again, nice and gentle, twist from the center. Same arm variations apply. As you breathe, press the left hip gently forward. Inhale to create space. Exhale to settle into your twist. Twists really help to create more flexibility and health through the spine. And they help to stretch the muscles around the torso. So these are a great thing to do throughout the day or at the beginning of the day. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Unwind, and exhale, place the hands in the lap. And again, just take a moment to notice how you feel. This in itself is a wonderful daily practice. If you can toss it into your everyday routine, your spine will thank you. To begin this standing portion, stand so that your left hand rests on the chair. You can keep the hand there, or you can release both arms by your sides as we move into Tadasana, or mountain pose. So feel the feet root evenly under the big toe, under the baby toe, and at the heel. Let the knees soften. Feel the low belly zip up towards the ribs as the tailbone gently lengthens towards the floor. Relax the shoulders. Feel the chest lift as the crown of the head goes skyward. And take a moment just to feel yourself here. You can give the shoulders a little roll. Get comfortable in your stance. And then place the left hand on your chair. Take a deep breath in. Bring the right hand to the right hip. As you exhale, shift the weight over to the left foot and come onto the ball of the right. From here, let that right knee open out to the side. You don't have to force it. Slide the right foot over to the left ankle. So this is our Vrikshasana, or tree pose. So here's our baby tree pose. You can play with bringing the other hand to the hip for a little bit more balanced challenge, or maybe just lightly lift the fingers off of the chair. You can bring the palms together in front of the heart. You can let the arms open out to the sides. Let yourself wiggle. You may fall over. It's okay. Just come back up. If you notice yourself taking it too seriously, remember that you're pretending to be a tree and smile. For more balanced challenge, you can slide that right foot up to the left calf. And same things apply. You can also bring the foot to the inner thigh. In this variation, feel that foot press into the thigh as the thigh presses into the foot for a little more stability. We'll take a few breaths to play around here. And again, let this be playful. Let yourself smile and keep breathing. Notice if you've stopped breathing and come back to your breath. Nice. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale, gracefully or not, bring the foot back down to the floor. Take a moment just to notice how you feel. Both legs, if one feels different. And then turn to face the chair, bringing both fingertips to the back of the chair, or you can bring the hands to the hips. It's totally up to you. From here, inhale and exhale, bend the knees, sit the hips back as if you were going to sit down into the chair. So this is chair pose, Utkatasana. Feel those glutes squeeze a little bit. This is a great way to strengthen the glutes, strengthen the quads. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend back into your chair. So now moving with the breath. Inhale, straighten the legs. And exhale, sit back into your chair. Feel those thighs fire up. This is a great thing to practice so we can maintain the ability to get up out of a chair and get back down easily in the body. Now walk the legs back. Hold on to the back of the chair and bow forward. You can keep your body a little bit more parallel or really hang, totally up to you. So this is a standing version, a chair version of downward facing dog. For a little bit more depth in the pose, you can bring the hands down to the seat of the chair rather than having it on the back. And that'll give you a little bit more space to hang. Again, find what feels comfortable. Relax your jaw. You can play with any variations, any little movements here, maybe bending into one knee and then the other. It's coming into a variation of walk the dog. Feel free to keep the knees quite bent here if it feels better to do so. And then use your next inhale to walk yourself up and back to stand. Now for the other side, have the chair over on your right hand side. You can keep the hands on the hips or lightly place the right hand on the top of the chair. And let that be light. You should be able to lift your fingers off of the chair when you're standing on both feet. Now take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, shift the weight over to the right side, coming onto the ball of the left foot. Turn that left knee out and slide that left foot in towards the ankle. Notice that left hip lifts as you bend it, and drop the left hip down so the hips are even. Again, you can slide the foot up to the calf. You can bring the foot to the inner thigh. For this variation, press the foot into the thigh and thigh into the foot. Whatever works on this side. Again, it might be different. Stay steady in your breath, relaxed in your face. Those same arm variations still apply on this side, as well as that playful attitude. So again, if you notice yourself getting frustrated, if you're wobbly, that's okay. Let yourself sway in the breeze. Smile. Come back in if you fall. This is a great way to strengthen the body and the mind. Inhale the arms up. As you exhale, release the foot. Bring the hands together in front of the heart and check in. And then turning to face the chair, we'll do that little chair pose series again. So take a deep breath in. As you exhale, sit the hips back, squeeze the glutes. Check in with your knees, and if you were to draw lines out from the center of them, make sure those lines would forever stay parallel. Inhale back up, and exhale, soften into your chair pose. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, sit back. Feel those thighs fire up. Inhale, rise up. And last time, exhale into your chair pose, or fierce pose as it's sometimes called, which I personally prefer. So you can bring the hands to the hips, you can bring the palms together in front of the heart, or keep the fingertips on the chair. Take another breath, and then inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, walk the legs back, coming back to that standing downward facing dog. This is a great way to stretch out the legs. We'll just take a couple breaths here. And again, adjust to what feels good in your body at this point. Very nice. On your next inhale, walk yourself back up to stand. Oh, and notice how you feel. So for this next section, we're going to focus on the hips. So scoot forward in your chair so you can lean back into your hands and rock the knees side to side. Still stay steady with your breath. Just warming up through the hip joints, getting some juice in there, getting some movement, creating more health. And then you can kind of circle one leg at a time, get the ankle going, roll through the foot, switch sides, just to get all those joints kind of warmed up. With your next inhale, sit up and bring the hands to the thighs. Now just make sure that the knees are stacked over the ankles. And feel the inner thighs hug in just a little bit to maintain that alignment. You can stay right there with the hands on the knees. You can bring the elbows down and move into a gentle inversion. So if you like, you can drop the head. You can stay there or let yourself hang over the legs. Just be aware this may be uncomfortable if you have any unmedicated blood pressure issues. Keep the elbows or the palms on the thighs. Either way, you can let the head hang, relax the neck. If it's comfortable here, you can clasp the hands behind the base of the skull just to add a little gentle weight. Resist the urge to pull on the head. Just let it hang. Might be nice to take a deep breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Maybe another one of those horse breaths in through the nose and out through the lips. And then use your next inhale, bring the hands to the thighs and use the arms to help press yourself back up to sit. Once you're upright, just take a moment to pause and let that posture settle into your body. Let it integrate. Nice. So on your next breath, hug the left knee in towards the chest. Bring the left ankle to the right thigh and let the knee open out. Alternatively, if this is not comfortable, you can cross the left ankle over the right ankle and let the knee open. You can also simply let the leg open out to the side and keep the foot on the floor. Whatever feels comfortable. Just to open up through the hip a little bit, release the low back. Again, this is great if you're sitting a lot. This pose is called seated pigeon. You can stay upright, placing the hands on the hips. Stay with your breath. Just feel the hips soften. If you like, you can hinge forward, keeping the hands on the hips, or you can bring the hands to that right thigh. You can rest the left elbow on the left thigh, but resist the urge to push down. You can rest the right elbow on the right thigh, or slide the left arm to the low back if you feel a little bit squished. You can also simply let yourself hang over the legs. Just find what feels comfortable for your whole body. Focus on your breath and give yourself permission to modify, to make any adjustments as you hold this posture. The breath is a wonderful guide. If you can breathe smoothly, even if you feel some intense sensation, as long as it's not pain, you can stay there. If you feel pain or if you can't breathe comfortably, dial it back a notch. You'll gain much more benefit doing that than trying to force yourself into a deeper variation that maybe your body isn't quite digging yet. So use your next inhale to sit up tall, and exhale, release the left leg down to the floor. Very nice. Now turn to the right with the right foot forward and slide the left foot back. Keep the ball of the left foot on the floor and press back through the heel. Find a place where you feel a nice stretch in your quad, in that left quad. You can also, if it's comfortable, reach down and grab the foot, the ankle, or your pants leg. You can use a strap or belt if you have one around. So coming into a seated dancer's pose. Feel free to find a place on the seat that you feel comfortable and stable. Keep your breath full and easy. Beautiful. Inhale, come back to center. And then you can rock the knees side to side just to release. Notice if one side feels different than the other. Nice. So now we'll move to the other side. So you can bring that right ankle up to the left thigh. Again, you can cross the ankle over the left ankle, or you can open up that right knee out to the side. Same variations apply. And you may find this side needs something different than that first one did. And that's okay. We have two different hips. Take a moment here to settle in before you even think about hinging forward. Make sure everything feels comfortable, even if it's not quite comfortable, if that makes sense. So no pain, no sharpness. There may be some intensity in the hip, but again, let it be something you can breathe with. And then from there, you can hinge forward. Same things, hands on the hips, hands on the left thigh. You can hang forward over the leg. And again, this side may have something completely different to offer you. See if you can let go of any judgments around it as you play around and see what feels good to settle into here. And also, see if you can release any labels of good or bad, especially around the tightness. Let go of any thoughts of, oh, I have a bad hip. It's not a bad hip, it's just a tight hip. It's okay. That's why we're doing yoga. So we can allow that tension and that tightness to soften. Notice as you breathe here if this side does feel different. As you settle in, does it need something different? And think of that science experiment. And then inhale, sitting up. Exhale, release the right leg. Then for that dancer's pose, spin over to the left side. Keep that left foot grounded in front of you and slide the right foot back. Ball of the foot stays planted on the floor. You can press back through the heel. You may have to adjust, play around. Again, the side might need something different. Make sure you feel relatively stable on your chair, and you can adjust that as you need to. And then again, you can grab that right ankle, right foot. You can use a strap. This is a great way to release the front of the thigh, the quad, the hip flexors. Again, from sitting all the time, this is a really great release. Beautiful. So take another deep breath here. Again, you can go in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then gently release the back foot if you have it. Slide that leg in and spin back to face the front of your chair. So we'll be moving into one more inversion. You can keep the feet together, or you can let the knees open out so you get a little bit more of that same hip release that we've been working with. You can keep the hands on the thighs, you can bring the elbows down, or you can hang in between the legs. Again, just find what works for you here at this point in your practice. Now, these inversions are such a wonderful way to give yourself a reset. So this is your reset button. It's a great release for the spine. It's a great way to calm the energy, calm the mind. So anytime throughout your day you need a moment to pause, to reset, you can come into one of these seated inversions, or any inversion for that matter. But use your next inhale to bring the hands to the legs, and again, use the arms to press yourself up. That just helps to protect your spine. You can bring the legs back together and pause for a moment and check in. Notice how you feel. Connect back to your breath in preparation for our final relaxation pose. So I have two pose options to share with you. One will, of course, be just sitting in the chair, and this first one involves laying down and placing your legs on the chair. So if you think that might be comfortable for you, you can play along here. Now the blanket is optional. I'm on a hardwood floor, as you can see, so I need a little extra cushion underneath my back, but you can lay on a carpet, or you can unfold a blanket or use a cushion. You'll bring the chair where your cushion is, or again, you can use a couch, a chair you have at home, a bench, anything like that. And you'll lay down and place the calves up on the chair. Now, this is a pretty bare bones version of this pose. You can get a blanket over you. You can place a pillow underneath the head. You can even tie a belt or strap around the legs so they don't have to do any work at all, staying where they are. You can place a cushion underneath the low back if it doesn't feel that comfortable here. And otherwise, just play around and see what works for your body. You can place the hands on the body. You can let the arms relax by your sides. Make any adjustments you need so you can be comfortable to stay here for the next few minutes. If it's uncomfortable for any reason to get down onto the floor, simply sit back in your chair like we did in the beginning. I highly recommend grabbing something cozy, a blanket to place over the legs or around the shoulders. You can tuck the blanket around the feet just to, again, feel a little extra cozy. Sit back into the chair. Let the shoulders relax. Make any extra movements, any adjustments, again, so you can be comfortable in whatever pose you choose to be in. Once you are settled in your relaxation posture, bring your attention to the breath. Imagine the next few inhales gathering up any tension or holding or effort in the body. And imagine the exhale letting it go. Almost like the breath is washing through the body, carrying away any tension or stress. Release from the crown of the head down through the muscles of the face. Soften the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Let the arms hang heavy wherever they are resting. Soften through the belly, through the hips, through the legs, the feet, the hands. And I will invite you to keep your attention on your breath. Continue to practice bringing your attention back if the mind wanders. And you are free to rest here and just kind of turn down the volume on my voice. But for a more kind of concrete practice to focus on, I'm going to take 10 deep breaths. And let these breaths be smooth and even. Nothing to push or force. If you're familiar with any pranayama, like the dirgha breath, a 3-part breath, the ujjayi or ocean sounding breath, you can do 10 of those breaths. In any case, we'll begin now. So use your next inhale as the first of your 10 breaths. Again, there's no need to focus on the sound of my voice, but we will all end up breathing 10 breaths at different rates. So if you find you're still in the middle of your 10 breaths when I instruct awakening, you can, again, just ignore me. I won't be offended. If you find that you've breathed your 10 breaths and I'm not instructing anything yet, that's okay too. Just continue to focus on your breath. Just check in with where your attention is. Guide it back to the breath. You can stay still and relaxed for the next few moments. Notice if any habitual tension has crept into the jaw, into the shoulders, into the back, and let it soften away. You can release any control over the breath. Let the breath be natural and automatic. If you are laying on your back, or even if you're sitting in the chair, give the fingers a little wiggle. Wiggle the toes, circle the wrists and the ankles. You can stretch the arms up overhead. Maybe take a deep breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Now if you're laying down, gently hug the knees in towards the chest. You can give yourself a little squeeze. Rock side to side, and then roll all the way over to one side. Place the top hand on the floor in front of you and use the arms to press yourself up and come back to a comfortable seat on the floor or on the chair. You can turn the palms up on the lap and just notice how you feel. See if anything has changed from how you felt when we first began. Bring the hands to the heart and thank and honor yourself for making this vitally important choice to take care of yourself. I thank and honor you for making that choice to join me today. If you like, bring the palms together and we'll close with a bow. Namaste.